This is the program for your security and safety information, Security Watch Africa, only on this channel, the Africa Independent Television. Welcome to another episode of Security Watch Africa. My name still remains Patrick Abambo. Today we'll be bringing you a number of reports, very incisive and educative report. But first and foremost, I must congratulate ourselves. Exactly 27 years ago, precisely July 12th, 1997, this program, Security Watch Africa, came on air. It's 27 years ago. We started this journey of educating Africans, Nigerians, all the world about security, creating security information. I must say, congratulations to everyone that has been on this journey. So many people have been on this journey. Some are still on the journey, trying to educate people across the world about on issues of security. Somebody told me this morning that 27 years is not a joke. It calls for celebration, but in our style, we look at the mood of the society. Does it call for celebration or sober reflection? Have we been able to educate every human on issues of security? That is still a question yet unanswered. Yes, first of all, let me also commend the government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria for saying no to the threat by the United States government on the issue of Nigeria accepting 300,000 criminals, I would say, because these are people who have been sentenced to prison terms in the United States from Venezuela, to accept them in Nigeria. But the Nigerian government said yes, no to it. Since February, the pressure has been on until it became public during the week. And some have said that the recent reprisal by the United States by saying that reducing the number of years and days Nigerians issue visa from 5 years to 3 months is related to Nigerians' rejection of taking 300,000 criminals from the United States. I must commend the government of Nigeria for standing up to it and saying no to such. We're already facing our own battle here, and bringing or accepting more difficult situation as that will create more problem for us. And though I also want to tell the Nigerian government and all the security forces that they must tighten up the belt, because more things will happen as the day goes by. You can't say no to the United States of America on such issue and feel that you will just be allowed to relax. There must be more challenges. So I'm sure that all those who should act on this are taking action and being proactive to ensure that our country is not compromised and our continent is not compromised. The drama of the United States President Donald Trump hosting 5 African heads of government, and some say they were ridiculed at the White House. It's one sign that Africans and Africa must sit and solve their problems. It's only we that can solve our problems and nobody else, and that is the truth. Let's go to the reports for today. We'll start up last week, precisely this time last week, there was activity at the Nigerian Defense Academy in Afaka, Kaduna State, where the Nigerian Army Day celebration lecture took place. And Security Watch Africa, Elizabeth Tanko, was there, and she brings us the report from the NASE lecture.
As part of activities marking this year's Nigerian Army Day celebration, NATSEL, former chiefs of army staff, senior military officers, scholars, and stakeholders gathered at the Nigerian Defense Academy at Afaka in Kaduna State for an insightful lecture aimed at deepening national awareness, strengthening civil-military relations, and reflecting on the evolving role of the Nigerian Army in national development and security. The a lecture titled The Soldier First Concept and the Future of the Nigerian Army, Shaping a New Culture for an Army's Transformation, which was delivered by the guest lecturer, the former Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Farouk Yahaya, retired. While speaking on the topic, Lieutenant General Yahaya, retired, maintained that the soldier first concept, when fully actualized, will elevate to a much higher level of Nigerian Army skill, competence, performance, effectiveness, and enhance operational successes in the face of multifaceted security challenges.
Officers commanding and platoon commanders need to be close to their soldiers at all times. No effort should be spared in the development and bequeathing of purposeful leadership at all levels. Now, improving the standard of discipline. Discipline is at the heart of military profession, and few professions are as dependent on discipline as the military. It is an attitude centered on respect for constituted authority and is developed by leadership, precepts, and training. Instilling discipline means to gradually teach, cultivate, or inculcate a sense of obedience, self-control, orderliness in someone, usually over a period of time. Discipline will also be instilled or enhanced through reward and sanction system. This is crucial tool for maintaining discipline, motivating soldiers, and ensuring combat effectiveness. When discipline is applied fairly and consistently, a soldier will feel respected and valued, which will ultimately lead to higher morale and mission success. We must be firm and fair in our dealing with the soldiers, and this will enhance discipline, check laxity, and nonchalant attitudes. Next is uplifting morale for a soldier. And I think that soldiers have been, scholars have often defined morale as the mental, emotional, and spiritual state of individuals. It is how individual feels, that is, he could be happy, hopeful, confident, appreciated, worthless, sad, and recognized for the press. The link between moral and combat motivation is as intuitive as it is vital.
While welcoming dignitaries and participants, the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Olufemi Olatunbosu Oluyede, said that the lecture will serve as an avenue for critical reflection of the soldier's duty and the dynamics that align operational and tactical requirements.
It is with a profound sense of duty that I welcome you all to the Nigerian Army Day Celebration 2025 lecture. The topic for this year's lecture, I quote, "The Soldier First, Concept and the Future of the Nigerian Army, Shaping a New Culture for Army Transformation," unquote. Could not have been better crafted for its intended purpose. It was selected to serve as an avenue for critical reflection of the soldiers' duties and dynamics that align operational and tactical requirements. The lecture and its interactive session will take an in-depth look into the soldier first concept from the perspective of our distinguished guest lecturer, Lieutenant General Farouk Yahaya, retired.
He stressed on the soldier's first concept.
The soldier first concept covers the prioritizing of the training, equipping, responsive leadership, and effective administration of the Nigerian Army soldiers to enable them carry out their duties effectively. The concept also takes cognizance of the expected reciprocal actions of all soldiers, which will rightly be summed up as adherence to the core values of the Nigerian Army. More importantly, it will explore the nexus that connects the evolving participants, generation warfare of today, and the role of the individual soldiers in our operations.
The event also featured panel discussions and the Chief of Army Staff Literary Competition Award, team exhibition, and presentation of awards. Elizabeth Thanko, reporting for Security Watch Africa.
Yeah, welcome back. Yes, we'll quickly go to the Nigeria Customs Service headquarters, where there was a parade or a display of some recovered donkey genitals, and Security Watch Africa, Lucy Taiwo, was there, and she brings us this report.
The Nigerian Customs Service urged the general public, especially those in border communities and logistic transport companies, to report any suspicious movement. The Comptroller General of Customs, CJC Bashiri Adewale Adeniyi, who was represented by the National Public Relations Officer of the NCS, Assistant Controller Abdullahi Mewada, made the call in a press briefing in Abuja.
The Nigeria Customs Service is resolute in enforcing the provision of the Nigeria Customs Service Act 2023, CITES, which is Convention in International Trade on Endangered Species, and other national environmental laws. We urge the public, especially those in border communities and logistic hubs, to report suspicious movement of wildlife products. The fight against wildlife crime requires sustained collaboration, vigilance, and unyielding commitment to justice.
The City Customs condemned ill treatment of humans to wildlife and outlined some seizure of wildlife in the past 1 year.
In line with our commitment to interagency collaboration and statutory mandates. This seizure is not an isolated incident. Over the past 12 months, the Special Wildlife Office has uncovered and disrupted multiple illicit wildlife trafficking operations across the country. Noteworthy among these include the recovery of 6 African grey parrots and the arrest of 1 suspect on 10th December 2024 at Kano, the interception of 2 live pangolins, 5 Mona monkeys, 2 Tantalus monkeys, 1 baby baboon, and an African grey parrot at Lagos Airport in May 2025. These figures underscores the scale, sophistication, and profitability of the illegal wildlife trade.
He appreciated other sister security agencies for their cooperation and synergy.
The service collaborates with Focus Conservation, the Wildlife Justice Commission, WJS, and maintains joint task force engagement with key domestic and international security agencies, including NDLA, EFCC, Nigeria Police Force, Interpol, as well as the Office of the National Security Advisor, among others. These partnerships have deepened intelligence sharing, leading to high-profile interceptions and successful prosecutions.
In his remark, Assistant Controller of Customs, Anuhu Mani, officer in charge of the Special Wildlife Office, further underscored the service's determination to protect Nigeria's rich biodiversity.
Since its inception, our mission has been clear: to protect Nigeria's rich heritage, biodiversity, and combat illegal wildlife trade.
The CGC displayed the most recent seizure of about 10,603 donkey genitals along the Kaduna-Abuja Expressway. Lucy Taiwo reporting for Security Watch Africa.
Yeah, welcome back. Yeah, a lot of people ask you question. How do you regard donkey? That most Nigerians are known. How do you regard it as an endangered species? Well, that is for those specialists to explain about more about why donkeys are endangered species. But let's go to the Defense Headquarters this time. Elizabeth Tanko will bring us a report from the commissioning of the Joint Transformation and Center of the Defense Headquarters to help harmonize and galvanize all security forces, the armed forces and security forces, in making sure that everything in terms of security in Nigeria is well structured. Sit back as she brings us the report.
In a significant stride towards enhancing joint operations and strategic synergy among the services, the Armed Forces of Nigeria, AFN, under the leadership of the Chief of Defense Staff, General Christopher Gwabin Musa, within the week commissioned the Joint Doctrine and Warfare Center.
God is commissioning this building and may God continue to bless us and make it something that can help us moving forward as a country and to Nigeria state. Thank you.
The event, held in Abuja, marks a historic milestone in the AFN pursuit of a cohesive and doctrine-driven approach to military knowledge, collaboration, and innovation across the armed forces. The chief host of the event, the Chief of Defense Staff, General Christopher Musa, stressed that the center will foster an environment of continuous learning, critical thinking, and inter-service dialogue.
You know, it used to be individual, Army, Air Force, Navy. Now we're collecting everybody. And because we have different approaches, this center will now give us that yardstick for us to strategize, to get our strategy as the Nigerian Armed Forces doctrine for all the armed forces, so that when we go out, everybody knows the role he's going to play, everybody knows what to do, and we don't leave anybody in doubt. Now, what we want to do again is to extend it further to other security agencies, so that, because like it is, fighting asymmetry is not like the conventional warfare. Conventional warfare is country to country, and maybe only the armed forces. But now, you need the armed forces, you need the judiciary, you need everybody playing, even the health, medical system, everybody together, so they too know the roles they play. Like in the Northeast and other areas, once armed forces are able to achieve some level, they move ahead, other security agencies are supposed to play their role. This will give us that group, that planning, and that we plan together and we operate together. I think that's in simple terms, that's what it's all about.
Speaking at the commissioning, the special guest of honor, the National Security Advisor, Malam Nuhu Ribadu, said that the relentless efforts by the military have played crucial roles in keeping Nigerians strong and resilient, despite lingering security challenges facing the country.
As we gather to witness this achievement today, our aspirations for the progressive development of the Nigerian military are being revitalized. The Joint Doctrine and Warfare Center Nigeria will serve as a hub for knowledge sharing, as well as research and development in modern warfare.
He commended the Chief of Defense Staff, all the service chiefs, and their teams who have worked tirelessly to bring this noble idea and initiative to fruition.
I would like to commend the leadership, the ministers, the Chief of Defense Staff, all the service chiefs and their teams, as well as the initiators and other stakeholders who have worked tirelessly to bring this noble idea and initiative to fruition. Their dedication and perseverance have indeed paid off.
Earlier, while welcoming guests at the event, the Chief of Operations, Major General Emeka Onumajoro, noted that the establishment of the center is in line with the Chief of Defense Staff leadership concept, which speak to operate in a joint environment.
The establishment of the Joint Doctrine and Warfare Center is born out of the need to consolidate jointness in the armed forces of Nigeria and to address inherent challenges in some joint operational areas. These are challenges that require integrated defense doctrine and supporting structures. It is this gap that the Joint Doctrine and Warfare Center seeks to fill. This is also in line with the Chief of Defense Staff and Service Chiefs leadership concepts, which seek to operating in a joint environment. So today marks a significant milestone in our nation's military history, particularly in the development of joint warfare and joint military capabilities.
The center was commissioned with the service chiefs present, heads of other security agencies, government officials, and senior military officers. Elizabeth Thanko, reporting for Security Watch Africa.
Yeah, welcome back. We'll be taking you back to Kaduna again and again. Elizabeth Thanko will be bringing us a report from the grand finale of the Nigerian Army Day celebration, where the Nigerian Army displayed the beauty of military, and especially the Nigerian Army, on how different corps of the Nigerian Army and their division, what their specialty is all about. Sit back as she brings us this report.
The Nigerian Army on Sunday, 6 July 2025, rounded up activities marking its 162th anniversary with a spectacular grand finale at the Polo Field Murtala Muhammad Square in Kaduna State. The event served as the climax of the Nigerian Army Day celebration, NATCEL 2025. after a week-long commemoration of its army legacy to service, sacrifice, and resilience. Vice President Kashim Shettima, who represented the special guest of honor, President Commander-in-Chief Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Also in attendance were former heads of state, Jan Yakubu Gowon retired, Governor of Kaduna State, Senator Uba Sani, Minister of Defense, Chief of Defense Staff, service chiefs, members of the National Assembly, traditional rulers, and retired military personnel, all lending weight to the significance of the occasion. The special guest of honor commended the Nigerian Army for its professionalism, loyalty, and dedication to national security. President Tinubu reiterated the federal government's commitment to strengthening the Nigerian Army in the fight against the enemies of the country.
I find it fitting and visionary that the theme for this year's celebration is developing the soldier first concept, imperative for Nigeria Army's transformative drive. It reflects not just strategy but humanity. You cannot build a great army without faithful and strong soldiers. Their welfare, morale, equipment, and sense of purpose are not afterthoughts. They are the bedrock of national security. Let me also use this opportunity to express my deep appreciation to the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Olufemi Oluwede, for his leadership in this historic moment. Your efforts to steer this institution with professionalism and foresight are well recognized and deeply appreciated. As we mark the 162nd anniversary of the Nigerian Army, I congratulate all officers, soldiers, and families. We honor the heroes past, salute the warriors present, and pray for those yet to come. I commend your commitment to placing the soldier at the center of reform, and I assure you that this administration stands firmly with you on that path.
Earlier at the event, the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Olufemi Oluyede, underscored the Nigerian Army's historical resilience since 1863.
My dear soldiers, the pillars that uphold the strength of the Nigerian Army, I thank you all and assure you that our collective sacrifice will never be in vain. I will not fail to appreciate the Nigerian Army Officers Wives Association and the Nigerian Army Soldiers Wives Association for their irrepressible role of holding the home front.
The Chief of Army Staff, however, assured law-abiding citizens that the Nigerian Army will continue to work with other security agencies to protect and defend them.
As we continue to defend the territorial integrity of Nigeria, we are acting the celebration of personal and professionalism. To this end, I enjoin our law-abiding citizens, especially those living within proximity of our areas of operations, to understand that our deployments and activities are designed to protect, defend, and not to oppress them.
A key moment of the day was the presentation of awards and gift items to outstanding personnel, with several warrant officers receiving brand new Toyota Hilux vehicles in recognition of their long and dedicated service. The event also featured a parade of corps and divisional specialty displays, offering the public a glimpse into the Army's growing technological capacity.
The core vehicle for the Nigerian Army Day Celebration 2025 the Self Tank 1 and the
manufactured in 2010 by China Industry Corporation. What we not into the Nigerian Army is the mine-resistant anti-personnel. The mine-resistant anti-personnel is an American equipment introduced
the communication is good.
versatile piece of equipment capable of cooking for 250 persons in 1 hour and can run on diesel, domestic gas, or firewood. Material to all takers, either by day or by night, in support of all Nigerian Army operations. The corps is commanded by Lieutenant General N.O. Okoye.
Nigerian Army presses, magazines, banner, exercise book, confidential reports, soldiers, letter-headed papers, and greeting cards, among others. These are
commanded by Major General B.U. Yahya.
Cars was manufactured by the Nigerian Army electrical and mechanical engineers. Major General B.U. Yahya, Brigadier General Elawan, and Lieutenant Colonel S.S. Ibrahim for that innovation. Closely following behind the 50 defense truck is a mobile boxing ring displaying wrestling as well as physical fitness of the Nigerian Army personnel.
The finale capped off a series of activities that included interfaith prayers, medical outreach programs, the NATSEL lecture, sports competitions, and the commissioning of civil-military cooperation (CIMIC) projects across the country. As the celebration drew to a close, one message stood out clearly: the Nigerian Army remains unwavering in its commitment to defending the nation and strengthening its bond with the people. Elizabeth Thanko reporting.
Welcome back. Yes, with that, we'll come to the end of today's episode of your program, Secret to Watch Africa. Join us again next week when we'll bring you another exciting and educative episode. But before then, follow us on all our social media platforms and send us your views and your questions so we can take it up with the necessary authorities. Until next week, I say thanks for staying tuned and bye for now.